Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Rune News. I'm your host, Ryan, and as always, it's bloody good to have you guys here in the audience today. I apologize for sounding unwell. I went overseas for a small holiday of the missus, and I came back with cancer, and unfortunately, it's not terminal. So I will be pumping out the content no matter what is wrong with me until the day I fucking die. As Sean Diddy Combs once boldly said to all of his victims, especially Justin Bieber, there are no brakes on the rape train. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, we have one question for you all to answer in the comment section down below. Hit the like and subscribe button while you're down there. Greatly appreciate the support before we dive into these Sailing XP reviews, which is mostly a nerf that a lot of people are not happy about at the moment. The question for this week is, if you had to put money down, genuinely, $1 million if you get it right, or gun to your head, your mum dies, your dad dies, and you get fingered by Drake every night, how old do you think I actually am? It's a weird debate that's been happening in some of my videos. People can't believe my actual age. Some people think I'm actually in my 40s. So I just want to know down below how old you genuinely think I am. And if you get it right, I'll give you a wristy. My name is Ryan. You're watching Rune News. This is Rune News, and you're watching Rune News. This week's update for Oldschool Runescape is titled Sailing XP Review and Further Fixes. It is a fucking monster-sized blog. It's huge, but luckily for you guys, I got the valedictorian at my school when I graduated. I'm an exceptionally well-rounded reader, and I can read through this shit incredibly quick. So we're going to keep it short and simple and go over the shit that you guys really care about, because this is just a fucking eulogy of Jagex trying to make excuses for their behavior today. So the crystal extractor is going from 600 XP per claim every 60 seconds to 250 XP, which is a nerf from 34k XP an hour to 14k XP an hour. That's 20 less thousand XP an hour on sailing just for standing there and doing nothing. Pretty big nerf. We knew it was coming. They said so last week. I expected around 200 to 300 XP to be where they'll sit, so they're right in the middle. Do I care? I personally do not mind. Overall, I know that 600 XP is insanely good, but we can all agree on a genuinely non-retarded level that 600 XP was a fucking lot of XP. So 250 I think is fine, and that barrel now gives you the 2.5 XP boost too. So that's the silver lining in this shithole. People aren't happy with it, but it's whatever. I think it was obviously coming. Abuse early and abuse often, like they all say, but now I'm looking forward to the comments being like, why didn't they wait until people got 99? Now I can't use the XP. Who gives a fuck? It's 350 XP. You'll be fine. Now they've made an adjustment to port tasks, basically giving every port task from level, only the courier ones by the way, deliveries, level 40 and onwards are about 15 XP, 15% more XP, and a little bit more worth your time now. There are efficient methods you can use. If you go check out Krebus's video, you can see more efficient routes to do your port task and get decent XP per hour. Over level 40, the task gives you an extra 15% XP. Not a bad little buff. Unfortunately, it's dog shit content, so no one's going to fucking do it. They're not changing the the combat ones, the bounty tasks, because they still want to make adjustments to combat, so that's being left for a future update. Deep sea trolling isn't really getting any changes either. They're just trying to figure out the best method, because they want it to be good fish per hour over XP per hour, but people want XP per hour over fish per hour. I think if you do it right and with multiple people, you could get both. I don't know. I'm not a fucking game developer. I'm just a player who's addicted to this shit. I don't mind as long as it's fun. I'll fucking do it. So deep sea trolling is not being touched for now until they get a bit more feedback on what the player base does, sees, wants, and they want it to fit well with the game, not just deep sea trolling, but the entire skill, so that it's weaved well into the rest of the game and that it feels like it's compatible with Oldschool Runescape. They can still fuck this up, so they're trying to get it right. None of these changes are definite, by the way. They may come back. They may make more adjustments, but at the moment, this is where it's sitting. Shipwreck salvaging is getting a shit ton of changes, and unfortunately, people are really like sticking to this whole 1.5 tick salvaging should be the best way to get XP out of salvaging. I don't give a fuck about that, personally. Not a big fan. I like to keep my loot because looty rhymes with booty, and I'm an ass man since the day I was born, so who gives a fuck, right? Nerf AFK salvaging is pretty much what they're doing. So here's what's going to happen. All your shipwreck salvagers are getting an increase in success chance. So that just means the likelihood of you getting loot from your salvaging. Small shipwrecks, 11% increase. Fisherman, 14, Barracuda 15 increase, large at 16, pirate shipwrecks are 21% more successful, mercenaries are 18%, Fremenic are between 16 and 21% more successful, and merchant shipwrecks are between 16 and 22% more successful when it comes to salvaging with the hook. So nice, you'll get faster loot in that sense if you're on the hook specifically. This is not for your crewmates, I believe. This way you're more successful than your crewmates and you're able to outperform them, which means you being on the hook is a better way to get salvage. And they're also increasing the XP for pirates by 13 XP. Mercenary shipwrecks are increasing by 11 XP, an extra 12 XP for capturing Fremenic shipwrecks. And if you're on the merchant shipwrecks, you get an extra 10 XP per salvage. That's obviously based on you doing it, because your crewmates will do it based on their deck handiness, I think it is, will determine how much XP they do. I think it's 70% at level 4. So you'll get more XP and you'll be more efficient on the hook than you were previously, which is a good XP buff. But salvaging is where it's fucked. There's an XP nerf. Salvaging. Barracuda Trials loses 2.5 XP per salvage that you clean. 4 XP lost for large salvage. Pirate salvages lose 5.5 XP. Mercenary salvage loses 33.5 XP. 33.5 XP gone per salvage that you sought yourself on the salvaging station. Fremenic loses 43 XP. 43 XP per salvage gone. Merchant salvage loses 61 XP. They're cutting that in thirds basically. Gone when you're salvaging the highest level opulent salvage. But the logic is getting them more often if you're on the hook, plus the more XP when you do salvage them, will make up for that XP loss, making it a similar XP per hour rate provided you get on the hook. My suggestion is get on the hook next to the crate and then fill your inventory, store it. Fill your inventory, store it. Once the storage is almost full, fill your inventory, chuck fucking Jittery Jim on the hook, you jump on the salvage station and start sorting it. You should maintain, if not get a decent XP rate still. Overall, they estimate to be a 20 to 30% nerf if you are just purely AFKing. So if you're standing there and you're not doing any hook salvaging, you're losing about 20 to 30k XP, sorry, 20 to 30% XP per hour. It is what it is. So now it's up to you. It's still insanely good XP. You still get 80 to 90% XP an hour doing this. It's still better than redwood cutting for wood cutting. So it's still a really good AFK method, but it's not as good as it was for the last 2 weeks. So that's something we're going to have to live with. Plus, there's also a 20k XP nerf on the Crystal Extractor. It's a big change. They may make more adjustments in the future, but if you are not 110% AFK, I recommend jumping on the hook for a little bit just to make up that XP rate a little bit. You might be able to squeeze over 100k still. Now, the drop rates and mechanics have been listed. Let me open those bad boys up for you. They're pretty self-explanatory. It's nothing out of the ordinary. I'll move out the way here. Shellbane Griffin, the Rapier's 1 in 400, the Pet's 1 in 3,000 as usual. Jarfair's 1 in 2,000, pretty normal. Horn of Plenty, 1 in 1,000 on task. Acronite's 1 in 750 on task for the little tendon. The boat paints are all listed here. Just have a look as I scroll down them. Inky paints, Shark paints, Angler's paint here, and the Salvers paint, 1 in 24,000. The Dragon sheets are all here, and they've also listed that Great Whites and Armor Krakens were meant to be dropping Dragon sheets and kill parts. Now they are. They weren't the past 2 weeks, so big buff there. Dragon nails, Dragon cannonballs, and Broken Dragon hook, 1 in 1,023 from the Great Whites, so pretty big. And now you have a 1 in 1,023 chance to roll the Dragon table from Great Whites, which will drop these bad boys here. And then you've got the Armor Krakens, 1 in 256 for these parts here. Echo Pearls, Albatross Feathers, Narwhals, Jumbo Squids, Ray Barbs, you name it, they fucking got it. Come on down to the fucking price is right. Shipwreck salvaging, you got all sorts of juice here. 1 in 20k for the Cannon Barrel. I got mine at 85 cents, so suck a dick. So they've released the drop rates now, and the pet, this is all the pet rates as well. If you know people that got it early, make sure you find out where they live and throw fucking stones at their house, or tomatoes if you want them to rot a bit, because that's dirty fucking RNG and they deserve to not get any more decent RNG throughout their entire sailing adventure. Other sailing changes are very simple. You can now use XP lamps and tiers of graphics to level your sailing. Players should no longer find themselves logging out at the station. You can go to a shipwright, and they will repair your boat for 50 GP per HP needing to be restored on your boat. Diving gear no longer gets looted. Just a few bug fixes. Frost Dragons will now respawn every 4.5 seconds, down from 18 seconds. And there's a new Slayer only task in the Grimstone dungeon if you got a Slayer task, which, by the way, they do give. I didn't read that out, did I? The Frost Dragon, excuse me, 2 seconds, while on task, is 1 in 55 for Dragon Sheets or 1 in 200 off task. So you're going to want to get your Frost Dragon Slayer task ASAP Rocky. That's fucking huge. No one cares about the Z buffer graphical fixes, just fucking fix it. No one cares about the merch unless it's my merch. King Gay, by the way. Merch store, maybe coming soon if you're fucking lucky, but if you're in the live streams, you'll know exactly how to get them right here on YouTube, King Condor, or at kick.com/King Condor for the live streams. Don't miss your King Gay shirts while you can. Get them before Christmas. Don't worry about all these books. No one reads books. Just wait for the fucking movie. Other changes are completely irrelevant at this point. No one cares. And LMS is not on the OSRS this week, so I will be holding back the racism in that front until next week. That's the Oldschool Runescape update. That's a long boy, but I fucking squeezed that bad boy out, and that's one fucking take, and that's why I'm the king. So make sure you subscribe or suck a dick. My name is Ryan. Let's get on with the Grand Exchange update with Way Green in just a moment for Rune News. This week, as you can tell from the sound of my voice, I feel a lot more like Runescape 3 than ever. I feel like shit. And that is exactly what this game is right here. Plain and simple. Runescape 3 is fucking dog shit. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Grand Exchange update for Rune News. My name is Wade Green, and the biggest rise this week is the Dragon Hook that is currently broken for salvaging. This is on the rise currently. Obviously, this price is inaccurate, but this will be seeing a rise over the next week because Jagex just released Jittery Jim with the deckhandedness of level 4, meaning that you can have 2 crewmates now on the broken, or the Dragon salvaging hook, which allows you for more AFK time at a much more extreme rate with the Dragon hooks. Even though the XP rates have changed, it's not as efficient anymore to use 2 crewmates while you're salvaging or sorting your salvage. You absolutely can. This is a big change for the broken Dragon hook. Now, the biggest loss this week is the Frost Dragon Bones. Of course, these are getting fucking hit hard. They're going to start getting botted heavily soon. There is now a Slayer only area, which is nice, but Frost Dragon Bones are just coming in fucking fast. Honestly, you're better off just fucking bone crushing them immediately as you kill the Frost Dragon. They're just not worth your time anymore. Just fucking send it. Now, the Twisted Billington is still the biggest mega rare of the week, which we will be smashing this week to try and grab. What are your thoughts on there being a new mega rare for all the boats coming with the 5th raid in this game? Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 years, who knows, they might try to do raids 4 and 5 back to back to keep us in the loop and keep sailing on top. But the Twisted Bow right now is a great weapon to farm and use, especially when you're doing Chambers of Zarek, which we'll be getting back into hopefully this week on the live streams. And finally, the Mole Slippers are starting to plateau out, ready to take the fuck off and shoot to the moon. Mole Slippers are about to start rising. They are going to become one of the greatest footwears of all time. The Holy Mollies are being rumored to enter the game. Until we get that rumor confirmed, we will not be pushing them that hard. But Mole Slippers are guaranteed to hit 30 mil a pair roughly this time next year. Mark my words, or suck a fat dick, or at least I will. Anyways, Mole Slippers to the fucking moon. Best in slot footwear, and they're absolutely waterproof. My name is Wade Green. Have a good night. Now, our first Ironman moment for the week goes to Goblino. I'm not sure if they're an Ironman, but they wanted to show you guys the 32 KC Vampire Kraken with 2 sheets and the Bottled Storm, which is huge. Now, a message from everyone else in the game that's been trying to farm these items and gone well beyond the drop rate. Now that you've killed 32 Krakens, you can now kill yourself. XTC Reaper was killing great whites with a dog shit ass boat, mithril cannons, like 60 sailing. He's fucking just sending it on mobile 20 KC hook, so decent. I guess it pays off playing like a fucking dickhead. And finally, we have Ultra Lancer here with the Jar of Feathers on 7 KC. Useless drop, useless photo, useless boss, useless content. But Rune News, so you gotta make sure people know what you got. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen, this week for Rune News. My apologies for sounding sick. We'll be back next week in full force. My name is Ryan. Live streams down below. Do it. Subscribe. Suck a dick. Have a good night. This is the easiest room in the raid. It's quite simple. You got a big boy. Look at him. Goddamn. Fuck me. Look at that boy. It's huge. Big boy.